Wool is another one of my favorites, but definitely not the right pick for a beginner. The end result is fantastic, but it can be kind of tough to work with. Turning will require patience, and the thickness might require a heavy-duty machine. And depending on the type of wool fabric that you're using, the edges may be prone to fraying. And so if you're finding that you're having trouble with that, you'll need to leave the seam allowances a little bigger. But if you leave the seam allowances a little bigger, it's going to be even more difficult to turn. So that's just something to keep in mind. Flannel was fine. It was easy to use, and a lot of people have it on hand, so it's great for that reason, but it just doesn't feel as special to me. And the fabric can be a little bit more prone to tearing. It might not hold up super well. But outside of that, it's a pretty decent fabric to work with, especially for a first or second try. I absolutely love using minky fabrics. They have a fantastic result. They hide the imperfections so well. They're a little messy to work with, and they might be a challenge for a beginner, but it's so fun and definitely one that I recommend. Just make sure you look for a low pile minky, one with like a 3mm pile or less. Denim, I'm a little bit on the fence about because it feels really nice and sturdy, and I do really like the end result, but it can be a challenge to work with. The thickness makes turning really challenging, even if you make your seam allowances really, really tiny, and it can be kind of difficult to hand sew. It also might require a heavy-duty machine or a denim needle in order to really go through the machine well, and so it's worth a try if you really like the look of it, but definitely not the first one that you should try. And I'd recommend using an 8-ounce or thinner denim. Anything thicker is going to be really, really hard to use. Suede is going to be very similar to denim in all of those difficulties. It does have a really nice feel to it when it's done well, but it's definitely a challenge to work with.